great catching up with my next guest, Aaron Jeffery, who's back in action. He's got another big fight taking on Dalton Rosta. Bellator 298, August 11th. It's right around the corner. Aaron, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Doing great. It's kind of like Kill Cliff against American Top Team. Of course, you defeated Dalton's opponent, teammate, I should say, Austin Vanderford a few fights ago. Does that add a little bit more to the matchup?
I don't know. Not for me, I don't think, because I'm on the winning end of it. Maybe he feels like he's got to get some revenge or something, but no, I don't think so on my end anyways.
Okay. Did you kind of feel you two were going to fight at some point just with the way the rankings were going?
Yep, for sure. Yeah. Kind of like everyone in the top 10 is on the radar, right? And he's definitely one of them.
What have you made of his run so far in Bellator? Obviously undefeated. What are sort of your assessment of him? Because I'm sure you've obviously had to look him up and kind of feel like you match up against him and all that.
Yeah, he's good, man. Obviously, he's undefeated, like you said. I think he's 8-0, all 8 fights in Bellator. Undefeated amateur record too, so he's on a bit of a tear. He's skilled. I don't think he's really fought like the best competition. I think they've kind of built him up nicely. I think my level of competition is a lot higher, so I'm excited for this one. I think I'm gonna put him to the test, and we'll see how good he really is.
How did you structure camp? Obviously, home base is back in Ontario, but I know you did spend some time out in Kill Cliff. Take me through that a little bit, because I know you've had definitely a full camp for this fight.
Yeah, I went down there for like 4.5, 5 weeks, something like that. I came back here. I think this is my 3rd week back home, and I've got 2 weeks left. So, yeah, pretty much split camp like half and half.
That's good. Who did you get to work with down there at Kill Cliff?
It was a smaller room this time for big guys anyways. Like there wasn't quite as many like 85ers as I'm used to, but I got a lot of work in with Impa Kasanganai, and he's like kind of a similar style to Dalton, similar body type too, so that was perfect. I did like most of my rounds down there with him. Actually, me and him, we beat the shit out of each other pretty good for a few weeks.
That's good. That's awesome. And then back home, usual cast of characters there as far as training partners and all that. Anything different?
No, man, pretty much same old. Mikey's back, Mike Malott. He's back working now, like the usual guys that are here, like some of the guys from Brock Wrestling and whatever. So yeah, same stuff, just like staying healthy and like getting a bit more specific here back at home.
Yeah, makes sense for sure. How cool is, I know you couldn't go out and actually see the fights live. We talked about this actually on DMs, but how cool was seeing UFC 289 with, all your teammates going out there getting big wins, especially Jazz, who's a big underdog in that fight. How cool is that for you personally?
Yeah, it's sick, man. It's really cool to see like guys from our team like making it to this level now. Like Jazz picked up a big win, top 15 now, which is huge. Mike on the main card, and both of them getting like big wins and like picking up traction in the media and everything. And like our gym is, what did I just do there?
Oh, no worries.
Our gym is finally like making a name for itself. So yeah, it's pretty sick, man.
Have you noticed that though? Like I feel like that having all your teammates on that card and them getting the wins, do you kind of feel like people are kind of giving Niagara Top Team their due? Like we've talked about the gym for years, but it seems like that's like the premier gym in Canada now, with you even seeing guys come down and train with you.
I think so, man. And yeah, like I said, it's picking up traction like in the media and stuff. Like I see a lot of that on Twitter now, like people actually mentioning the gym name and whatnot. So yeah, it's cool. Like it doesn't feel any different when we're in the gym, because it's like it's always the same people. We're doing the same shit like day in and day out. We're just training and working hard. But yeah, when you hear like media members and stuff starting to talk about the Niagara Top Team, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. Obviously, you always make weight. I mean, it's kind of like you're a nutritionist on top of all this, so you kind of know what to put in your body. Is it hard at all though when you're traveling? Just because again, like obviously when you go down to Florida, kind of get everything organized, and then when you come back, you kind of got to get everything kind of lined up a little bit. Do you find it's difficult sometimes with the traveling you're doing?
Not so much. Like I try and space it out far enough on the fight. Like I'm gonna leave myself at least a couple weeks. Like with that drive, it kind of like beats up the body a little bit too, like sitting in the car for 20 hours. So no, I just make sure I got enough time to kind of decompress after that long drive.
How do you split up the drive? Like, do you just like, do you make sure like you take a break and you work out a little bit, or like how do you do it? Because I don't think you go, or do you go straight 20 hours? How do you make it done?
No, we get like halfway, so like South Carolina usually. But yeah, I stay pretty active on the road actually. Like we stop every couple hours. I bring a kettlebell with me. I swing that around, go for some walks, stretch and whatnot. And it's like 10 hours one day and then pretty much like 10 hours the next day. I'll wake up in the hotel room early and like do a little workout there and then get on the road. But yeah, like I said, there's definitely some like decompressing to do after the drive after sitting there for 20 hours.
Do you like meal prep like while you're driving, like, you know, just to have stuff on the go? Because I know like if you're trying to travel, it's so hard to eat healthy, I find, because like unless you go to a grocery store.
Yeah, that's what I do. So, like when I'm in Florida, I do some meal prep at our place before we leave. Like tons of boiled eggs and veggies. That's pretty much like 90% of my diet. And then yeah, on the second day, we'll just be stopping at grocery stores, getting like boiled eggs and cheese strings and veggies and like a bunch of like super boring shit.
Yeah, but it works though. Like it definitely makes sense. I don't know if people know this. Like you can actually bring food on the plane if you like as a carry-on. Can you not? I believe you can, can't you? Well, I guess you're driving, so it doesn't matter. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you can, as long as it's not like liquid based, right? Yeah, I think you can bring food with you.
Yeah, there you go. Just a little travel tip for you people out there. What about the your corner, Chris Prickett? Who's making the trip with you?
Yeah, Prickett and Linden and Powell, Zach Powell.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He's gonna come with me and move around with me on fight week. He's big right now and he actually moves very well for a big guy. Kind of similar shape to Dalton Rosta, and he moves well and he can wrestle really well. So I'm bringing Powell down with me to have a big guy to move around with on fight week.
How's this fight playing out on August 11th? How do you see it going down?
Um, I think I'm gonna break this guy. I think he hasn't been tested before. I think I'm gonna make it a gritty, dirty fight, and I don't think he's gonna like that. And I think that's how I'm gonna get the win.
Does this kind of put you back in the driver's seat, beating him just because he's undefeated? There's a lot of hype behind him. Do you think that puts you back to maybe where you were before the Salter fight?
I hope so, man. You know what we say, like we never look past the next fight.
Yeah.
Also, with all this shit and talks, like we don't even know what's going on with Bellator. Are they planning any more events? What's going to happen? So I want to win this fight, make a good impression, whether it's for Bellator or any other promotions, and we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Obviously, there's all the rumors about them being sold and maybe, you know, something else going on. It's probably hard to kind of not think about that a little bit, just knowing where your future could be.
For sure, but I mean, if that's the case, or if it isn't, me winning this fight is the best thing for me either way, right? If I move up in the rankings and Bellator stays as is and I get a title shot next or whatever, that's good. Or if I win this fight and I move up in the rankings and get picked up by other promotions, either way, that's what I got to do.
Is that something where, you know, when you hear this stuff, are you kind of getting in touch with your management going like, hey, are you hearing anything? Do you talk to them at all? Obviously, you got one of the best in the game with Ruby Sports.
Not yet. I'm sure we'll talk after the fight or possibly on fight week if I see those guys down there or whatever. But no, I got to stay focused on this and keep my head in the right place.
What's downtime looking like? Nice time of year in Ontario? Getting any walks, you know, near the water or anything, or what are you getting up to?
Oh yeah, walking all the time. You know me, walking and reading books. That's about it.
But it's good, man. Honestly, like you're better than 90% of people who like spend all their time on social media or, you know what I mean, like playing video games or doing things that aren't like necessarily productive, but like reading and like even just getting outside and getting that vitamin D is so important, right?
Yeah, I went back to my mom's this weekend in Tilsonburg and I didn't even see her all weekend because I fucking slept the whole time pretty much. It's like at the point in camp where I'm just like exhausted. So I slept like 12 hours both nights, napping both days, and that's it.
No, I get it, man. That's good. You got to get that quality sleep. But you made it through this interview, Aaron, and I really appreciate it like you usually do. Bellator 298, August 11th. If there's anyone you'd like to thank before we get out of here, sponsors, social media, you name it, I'll give you the last word.
I'll post all that shit later, but thank you again, James, for having me on. Always a pleasure.